So is the DOJ going to drop their lawsuit against the state?
I can't speak to DOJ's actions and what they're going to do.
The president, though, called it Jim Crow in the 21st century and a blatant attack on the Constitution. So does he still see it that way?
I'll say this, I'm not.
Dang, Jacqui just coming out swinging today. Our lead story of the day is Fox News reporter Jacqui Heinrich back in the seat in the White House press briefing room, trying to get Karine Jean-Pierre to answer a single one of her questions. Let's see if Karine Jean-Pierre could do it today. Support us by hitting that like and subscribe button. Without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Thank you, Karine. The White House and the president were very vocal about Georgia's new election law when it was signed in March of 2021. And the big argument from the White House was that it would suppress voting. But there was record turnout in the primary, there was record turnout in the general, record turnout in the runoff, in early voting, absentee ballots, and in-person voting. So is the DOJ going to drop their lawsuit against the state?
I can't speak to DOJ's actions and what they're going to do.
The president, though, called it Jim Crow in the 21st century and a blatant attack on the Constitution. So does he still see it that way?
I'll say this, I'm not.
Dang, Jacqui just coming out swinging today. Jeez Louise, what a follow-up. Hey, is the DOJ going to basically get rid of the lawsuit? Well, I can't speak on behalf of the DOJ. Okay, well, the president said this. What does he have to say about it? Damn, what a follow-up. You go, girl. Here we go.
I'm not going to speak to the Department of Justice legal actions. That's something for them to speak to. What I can say, and not going to get into specifics of your question, but you all reported this, that there was suppression.
I'm not going to get into the specifics of your question. Oh, my God. That just means Jacqui just had a knockout punch, folks. She doesn't even have an answer to the question that was just proposed. Normally, she spins it, you guys. Normally, she just doesn't even either acknowledge the question. She'll come up with her own question and answer that question and what she came up with. But here she's going, I'm not even going to bother answering it. Damn. Oh, my God.
That we saw that throughout the Georgia election. So that is something that was been reported on. So I leave it to those reports. But look, even with that, the American people came out. They came out in historic fashion to make their voices loud and clear. When it comes to democracy, when it comes to protecting our democracy, when it comes to making sure that we're protecting our economy, we're protecting Social Security and Medicare. This is something that the American people spoke very loud and clear. And they did that because of the success that the president has had on his legislative agenda, because of what the president has been able to deliver, because of what Democrats has been able to do, and making sure we had a sharp message for the American people to see the contrast. Right? Republicans wanted to put Social Security and Medicare on the chopping block. That's what they wanted to do. That was their plan. And, you know, people have said, I've heard some of your colleagues say earlier this morning that it was a stunningly bad cycle for Republican senators. And a lot of that is because of their agenda, is because they embodied the ultra MAGA ideas. And even with all of that, the American public came out and they put a lot of that to rest, a lot of what the Republican officials were putting forth, their plan to rest. And they said it very loud and clear. We want the special interests to pay their fair share. We want Social Security. We want Medicare to be protected. And we want women's rights to be protected as well. Okay.
God, diarrhea mouth. We're not done here. Jackie's going to ask another question, but you got to love the fact that she's using the term historic. That it was like a historic turnout. You know, people showed up, they voted. But yet the question was predicated on voter suppression, of which there's literally historic turnout. So she's going to contradict herself and they go on this whole rambling of what's wrong with Republicans and how great Joe Biden is, even though they didn't want to show for Joe Biden out to any of the hot areas like Georgia. I'm laughing because it's like, look, we can either get pissed or just laugh at it because it's comedic at this point. Today, she's just like, I'm not going to answer your question. I'm going to completely dodge it, even though the question was predicated on what's going on with the president. Does he still believe this viewpoint of what she spewed? Yes or no, and she's supposed to be the mouthpiece of the president, and so she's not going to answer it. Hell, I mean, I guess you would sound very similar to Joe Biden because he ain't going to answer a damn question. The dude doesn't even know his name. He probably doesn't even remember saying that stuff. He was literally rambling the other day. He couldn't even say nano chip. He's got chip, nano chip, nanny, nanny, bonanny, fee, fi, fo, nanny. I mean, the guy doesn't know what the hell's going on, and clearly neither does she.
Thank you.
On Twitter, Karine, the Twitter files have released that the company typically required an official or law enforcement finding that materials were hacked in order to exercise their company policy to restrict certain stories or reporting. And the journalist who released the material noted that in this case, around the Hunter Biden laptop story, there was no official or law enforcement finding that appeared in the material that he was given. So my question to you is, did anyone from the Biden team communicate to Twitter that this material was from or this reporting stemmed from hacked materials?
Are you talking about the campaign?
It would have been the campaign or anyone around the family. Just wondering because in the Twitter files release and what Matt Taibbi said, he noted that typically the company would require a law enforcement or official finding that something was hacked in order to exercise their hacked materials clause, and that he didn't see that in what had been given to him. So wondering if it was communicated even informally by someone around the president or the president's family or the campaign that this was hacked material or could have come from hacked material, given that there was so much concern, especially after the 2018 foreign interference situation, that could be something that we would see in that election. So I'm wondering if there was that communication there surrounding the Hunter Biden laptop story.
So I can't speak to decisions made by the campaign from here. That is not. It is a political campaign, so I can't speak from here. I'm covered by the Hatch Act, and so I'm just not going to comment on the question that you're asking me. But what I can say more broadly is, of course, it's up to these companies to make their own decision about the content on their platforms and to ensure content follows their own standards and policies. But I'm just not going to comment on a decision that was made during the campaign.
Gotta love it. Oh, well, it's the Hatch Act, you guys. It's the Hatch Act. Can't answer any questions. Sorry, even though we have evidence that the Biden administration was working in conjunction with Twitter on what they did. I can't wait till more evidence comes out. And who knows the evidence that cannot come out because Twitter would have deleted it, all the while Elon Musk is trying to buy Twitter at the time. So who knows really what went on. But we got a lot of information coming out here in terms of former FBI agents working to stop this stuff from coming out. The former FBI agent that was going against Donald Trump, working in conjunction with the Democrats, working in conjunction with Hillary Clinton, working in conjunction with the Biden administration. I mean, this stuff is nuts, folks. Well, I can't do it because I'm under the Hatch Act. Oops, sorry, God, how convenient. How convenient the Hatch Act is there for me for everything. But she's going to sit there and not answer a single question. And just being open about it today. Screw you, not going to answer it. Jacqui, you did a phenomenal job, girl. Keep it up. Gotta love the questions coming from Fox News and Jacqui Heinrich there. Keep saying Heinrich. Jacqui Heinrich. I'm trying to get the names down. Forgive me, folks. Some names are difficult. Some names aren't. I know I sound like Joe Biden here. Still deserves a like and subscribe nonetheless. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.